Muita gente deixa de fazer auto-hipnose porque alguns protocolos são um pouquinho complicados, né? Tem que ter um gatilho, um hipnotista tem que colocar o gatilho na pessoa para que a pessoa consiga entrar em transe depois. Ou você tem que gravar a sua própria voz ou a voz de outra pessoa, né, fazendo uma indução para você ouvir aquilo e entrar em transe. E na verdade a auto-hipnose ela não precisa ser complicada, ela pode ser muito simples. E nesse vídeo, nessa parte do bate-papo com o Anthony, ele fala justamente como que ele faz a auto-hipnose, né? E a gente comenta um pouco sobre isso, sobre essa complicação que às vezes a gente vê, né? E não precisa ser complicado. E é isso aí, hipnose de alto nível, você vê aqui. Talking about self-hypnosis, you know there are a lot of ways to do that.
Yeah.
To like a lot of different hypnotists explain in different ways.
Yeah.
Like direct suggestion, everything. And I always think about using like the same tools we use in hypnotherapy for ourselves.
Sure.
And I saw that in your course. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's what I think everyone must do, because we already know the results of the hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
So when we change the self-hypnosis for something else, I think why we can just do the same thing with ourselves.
Yeah. Again, people will experience either the same great results or the same frustrations with self-hypnosis. The problem for me was, again, I didn't really feel like I was experiencing this special state. So that kind of put me off using it. Right? Now that's gone, I recognise my personal reality. It's not reality, it's my personal reality. It filters the beliefs that I'm experiencing the world through, can be changed. And the techniques that I use with others to help them get over fears and anxiety or access resources or get in particular resourceful states, I can of course use them on myself. I just start right there and then. I just begin. I don't try and I may engage in a ritual that suggests I'm doing this now, like putting my feet on the floor or taking a deep breath, but it's not that must happen. It's more like I'm getting in mode, just like if I was going to run a race. I might get in the blocks and focus on the finish line. So
Just getting ready.
Yeah, I'm just getting ready. It creates, I sometimes say, any ritual creates a space, an empty space, like a circle. We then adorn this space with a relationship, with techniques, with words, with subjective experiences, and we play in this space. So self-hypnosis, the best way for me to do self-hypnosis is literally to just get myself ready and to become sensitive to my own subjective experience, and to realise I can play with this. I can play with, let's just take my attention. Is my attention external, internal? Is it somewhere between the two? If I become self-aware of attention and the different ways I could attend to things, then I can start to play with it. If I'm in pain, what's my attention doing? Well, actually, I'm catastrophizing. I'm making meaning about this. I've got this voice in my head saying, oh, this is really bad timing. I'm about to go on holiday. I wish I hadn't hurt my ankle. There may be aspects of this pain that are about the past. There may be aspects of it about the future. I can play with these things immediately. I don't have to be in a special state. The state, if you like, is the state of things right now. And as soon as I can be self-aware of them, if you like, the interface to my personal experience is my imagination. I don't have a special imagination. It's not particularly vivid. It's normal. It's good enough. When we imagine things differently, our experience changes. And sure, sometimes the process is, it's not quite as instant and complete as we may like. My view, and I know you've heard this weekend, is treat yourself like a laboratory. Do the experiment. Imagine this from the third person position rather than the first. Is the pain any different? If it's 5% different, great. If it's the same, do another experiment. What would happen if you let all the tension out of your shoulders? What would happen if you exhaled before you stood up? What would happen if you changed the voice in your head? Where's the pain gone now? Ah, it's loosened up. It's a bit different. So experiment, don't wait to be in a state. One more thing about this, which, has really changed my personal use of hypnosis, is I used to think we should create a script, record it, or say it to ourselves with, our internal dialogue. And that is one way of working. Many, I'd say most books on self-hypnosis advocate that. You sort of become a disembodied hypnotist. You become your own hypnotist.
Like suggestion to the unconscious mind.
Yeah. My preference is to use a handful of techniques that I know so completely. I don't need to record them and listen.
I don't even need
I don't even need to have a voice. I can just journey my way through the technique, like I'm just awareness moving through the rewind technique, the arrow technique, the time machine technique, whatever it happens to be, whatever your preferred tools are, the things that you know inside out, just begin to self-apply. Realize your imagination's good enough, and that frees you up to do this anytime, anywhere. You can do this 2 minutes before you go on stage. You can do it when you're walking down a corridor to a meeting. You don't need to sit and have a disciplined practice of, I will do hypnosis for 15 minutes every day. That's good too, but it becomes more like a sort of meditation or a goal-setting exercise. Nothing wrong with that. It's a useful practice. I encourage people to have a morning practice, even if it's 2 minutes long. But in terms of practical, functional uses for self-hypnosis, I want to be able to do this now. I'm doing it now. Perfect. And just begin.
Perfect. Just play the tool in your mind, that's it.
Yeah, realise. I didn't even quite realise what I meant when I called my book Reality is Plastic. But it's true.
It's true.
Reality is plastic. It feels solid and real and reliable because you don't challenge it. But as soon as you challenge it, or life just comes along and challenges it, you'll see that it was a point of view. Pain, chronic pain, is a point of view. It can be changed miraculously. You can feel different. You can convince yourself of things with words. Do you wholeheartedly believe that? Who cares? It doesn't matter. You can change your personal reality by just playing with the inputs and challenging some of the patterns that you've learned.
I also loved when you said we are like a pattern machine.
Yeah, we're like a pattern matching machine. Some people think it makes us sound less human. It's like, no, that's what we do. That's what we've done our whole life. We learn patterns of behaviour to the point that they run automatically. That's what frees us up to be able to engage in higher level thought, abstract thought, do 5 things at once, drive, play with the radio. The reason we can do that is because we learn things to the point that they run automatically. Our problems are mostly running in the same way, and yet we choose to identify with them and say, I am an anxious person. I don't know why I did this. The reason you don't know is because you learnt this at some point and now it runs by itself. But
it's automatic.
Yeah, it runs automatically, but it can be changed. And rather than thinking I must have control over this, I must sit on my hands, have willpower, instead, let's just find a new program, a new automatic.
Perfect.
Yeah, and
just run it differently.
Just run it differently and see what happens. And if it's not different enough, do some more.